Hey Razorcave and some scrubs. This is your commish signing in this week because I did not make a video last week. And as much as life got busy, I would just like to take a moment to remember my victory over Tevitt because it was so sweet. And now he has two losses on the season. And Chris, I tried to give you a chance to potentially take the number one seed from him, and you done messed up. But we have some exciting matchups to go over from this past week, so I am also excited just because I am in the playoffs again. So congratulations to myself. Congratulations to Tevitt for locking up the one seed. So you'll get the bye, and Chris, you can potentially lose the the 3 seed to me if I win and you lose, because I don't think you'll make up 114 point differential in that span as well. Other crazier things have happened. So that was that, and I would also like to congratulate Corey Hardcore on Hotlanta Ballers for taking control of the West. And since there's only one more week of matchups, you are the West Division champ, and you will get a bye in the first week. So congratulations to Corey for that. So I will dig into the matchups, and then I will do a different playoff situation here. It can get kind of convoluted, so I'll do my best to analyze this. But first off, from last week, as I mentioned earlier, Corey got the W, and this was really close. You're currently up by 1.1 points, so we'll see if a stat correction changes that, but I think you're safe if you're over a point. But what really did it was Mark Ingram coming in clutch with a 24.3 points. Big day from Drew Brees as well, and everybody else actually had under 10 points, so those players are really pulling their weight. But Mark Ingram had the big game on Monday Night Football, and the Ravens absolutely smashed the Rams. Like, that's crazy. Looking at Justin's team, Aaron Rodgers had a quiet day against the San Francisco 49ers defense. However, DJ Moore and Allen Robinson having the big days themselves, over 20 points each for them. Ronald Jones having a decent day of 14 points, but then Aaron Jones with the 3.8 points and the goose egg from Hawkinson. He has been, man, I completely misjudged him. I was excited about a tight end. He was like, oh, first week, he did awesome. And he's had 10 points in 1 week since, and other than that, it's been like maybe 7 points at the most. So just know to play tight ends against Cardinals defense, because that's exactly what it was. Next up, I will go over my absolutely demolishing of you, Andrew. Like, wow, I beat you by almost 70 points there. Capped off by a 36-point night from Lamar Jackson. Holy cow, this guy gets a ton of fantasy points, especially on the ground. Like, man, he's good. And then I had pretty good contributions from my receiving core. Landry, 30 points. Thomas and Hopkins over 20. Even Kittle had the big day himself with 21 points to give me 163 points on the week. So, pat myself on the back for that one. Chubb had the big day for you, but you also had the goose egg from Pascal, so that's a little unfortunate there. Bell with the decent 13 points, but I don't think it wouldn't matter what you done this week. I was going to win that one if I put up 163 on you. Tevitt and Martindale, this is also a big matchup because Chris could have potentially taken the 1 seed if things had fallen his way. But I mean, even for 2 of the leading scorers in the league, that is a low point scored for both of y'all. Christian McCaffrey has been just on another level this year. He's definitely got to be the number 1 running back. I don't even know about how much, but a lot, almost 30-point day for him. And outside of that, I mean, Devontae Adams had 15 points. That's a good day. Kamara, I feel like 14 is kind of quieter for him, but he's been a little banged up, so he hasn't been playing as much, getting as much of the action in there. And then I think, Chris, what did you in was the 7 points from Matt Ryan against Tampa Bay. That is unfortunate. Although Chris Godwin, on the flip side of that matchup, had 30 points, so I think he tried to make up for it there. But everybody else was pretty quiet. Coleman had the touchdown, and Edelman had a 13-pointer there, so not bad, but just really kind of a quiet day from the rest of your roster there. Next up, we have Trevin versus Travis, and Trevin keeping your playoff hopes alive with a clutch win there. Good job. 107 to 101 there, a little bit lower score matchup there, but it seems to be the trend this time of year. Jacoby Brissett with the quieter day against Houston's defense on Thursday night matchup. Just as a Colts fan, I think it's bullcrap that call. They fumbled the ball, and they didn't even stop play to look at it. Apparently they looked at it, but I think it deserved to be overturned in my biased opinion. Derrick Henry with the big day, 28 points. He's kind of boom or bust guy, but when he hits big, as that happened in the playoffs last year as well. Odell finally getting some action there, so 17 points, good to get that from your studs. And Calvin Ridley, the big day. If Julio Jones is banged up, he's definitely going to be getting some of that slack there because Matt Ryan usually puts up some points. On the flip side of that, Travis, it looks like you're top heavy there. Leonard Fournette with 32 points, and he has been absolutely phenomenal this year. Stayed healthy, and Jackson was like, we're going to run the ball. And he's actually caught a lot out of the backfield, so big day from him. Deshaun Watson with a decent 18-point day. Outside of that, Hunt, I think, had a touchdown, 11 points for him. He's been catching the ball quite a bit, and Singletary is getting the volume, so the touchdowns will come with him eventually. I have faith, but you expect more out of Cooper Kupp. He's been, it's been, I think, the struggles of Goff, but he just really has been quiet, so he had a 31-point day against Cincinnati. Then they went on by. They had a goose egg, 6.8, 6.5 points. Like, you need more from your studs if you're going to do something, unfortunately. And the James Conner injury, that also does not help. So I'll dig into the playoff scenarios here in a second. But the final matchup, we have Daniel versus Naycock. And decent margin of victory there for Daniel, about 30 points there. And Daniel had not a good day from a quarterback. I expect a little bit more out of Wentz. I think he got banged up. And even Josh Jacobs had the quiet day. However, Jonathan Williams, 19 points. Good job on the waiver of picking him up and playing him. Will Fuller had a decent 17-point day against the Colts as well. And Zach Ertz, going with the two tight ends here. I didn't notice that. That's awesome. Ertz and Cook, 21 and 18 points respectively. So well done. Way to play the matchups on. Go two tight ends on that. Although looking at your bench, considering you had 4 players on bye, I don't think you had much of a choice. But still, well played nonetheless. Naycock, on your side, you had Zeke with a little bit quieter day there, but 14 points isn't too bad. But then going with the old Driscoll against Washington there, quiet day from him. The goose egg from Amari Cooper, that is what did you in. In addition, I think Chris Carson had another fumble, and so they benched him because Rashad Penny had 18 points on my bench because he had a big touchdown run. And so that's kind of the danger with Chris Carson with him there. DD with the 10-point day, but just kind of quiet day from everybody else kind of involved. Okay, so before I dig into kind of the matchups and different playoff scenarios, I would just like to take this moment to recognize that I am the highest scorer in the league, so eat my dust, Tevitt. Up to 1630 over your 1616, you lowly peasant. I just want to take a moment to celebrate that since I have the microphone. Okay, so interesting playoff scenarios here. What is interesting to me, so there are 4 players that have currently clinched a playoff spot. And all 4 of those players none of those players are playing each other. So that means looking at the matchups, I'll start with the one. So Travis and Daniel are playing each other. So there's the 4 people are in, and then a bunch of people at 5 and 7, and then Justin at 3 and 9. So congratulations, Justin. You have the number 1 pick, so you can accidentally win against Tevitt. Actually, I think you should do that just to humble Tevitt, because that's always fun. So, looking at the matchup, so Travis and Daniel play each other. The winner of that one really puts themselves in a good spot to go 5 and they will be 6 and 7 at that point. Travis, if you win, you are definitely in. Daniel, it kind of depends on how everybody else does. If you win your matchup, And then Andrew, if you could pull off the W over Chris, you could sneak in there. However, your points scored are also low, so you would need nobody else to really win to get in yourself, because there will be another 6 and 7 team from Travis and Daniel's matchup. So you would have to hope that Naycock and Trevin lose in addition to you winning. I think that's what has to happen for that one. And then Naycock, if you win, I think you will be in as well, since your points scored are pretty high up there. And Trevin, you would need to win and hope that someone ahead of you, so you would need to win and Daniel to win probably. I don't know, it gets more complicated. It really just depends on who else wins. So really, Naycock and Travis are in the driving seat, and then Trevin and Andrew and Daniel need the dominoes to fall their way in order to get in. So that seems to be kind of the potential playoff scenarios there. Someone else can give a better analysis if they want, but that is my interpretation of what can happen. So I am excited for this week. Short week. I'm traveling back to Arkansas, back in the promised land, see my family. So I'll be watching some football, resting because I will be in the playoffs, and just kind of enjoying this week a little bit, preparing for the playoffs myself. And yeah, I've had a fun year, and we got the playoffs coming up, so that'll be cool. I'll give another kind of playoff preview coming in before next week's matchup. And also, I've been in contact with people about a few different changes that we're thinking about implementing. So just kind of start thinking about that. If you see something that, hey, I don't really like how this is, this part of the league and how it's going, like, come talk to me. We'll make changes at the end of the season. But especially while the season's still going on, just make a note down about it or text me about it, and we will try and just make the league better. It's been, evolving. We've been had this league for 4 or 5 years now. This may be 6, I can't remember. But it's been fun. And this is your commish signing out. Happy Thanksgiving.